For more than 2 decades, the murder of the iconic rapper Tupac Shakur has remained a mystery, giving rise to the countless conspiracy theories and fueling the curiosity of fans and investigators alike. The fateful drive-by shooting that occurred on the night of September 7, 1996 in Las Vegas cast a long shadow of uncertainty, leaving everyone yearning for answers. In a sudden twist of events, recent developments have breathed new life into this age-old mystery, and you can't wait to hear it. Join us till the end of this video as we dive into the Mike Tyson versus Diddy rumor over Tupac's murder. As the puzzle surrounding Tupac Shakur's murder takes an unexpected turn, the recent arrest of Dwayne Keith Davis, known as Keith D, has resurfaced another name in connection with the infamous incident: Sean Diddy Combs. Keith D, a former member of the Southside Compton Crip gang, has openly voiced his discontent, pointing fingers at Diddy for his entanglement in the web of conspiracy theories that has surrounded Tupac's tragic death. Tupac Shakur's untimely death has remained a subject of intense fascination and intrigue. The circumstances surrounding the shooting, the alleged entanglement of the music industry rivalries, and even the persistent belief that Tupac may have staged his own death have all contributed to the enduring mystery. The lack of a conclusive resolution has only deepened the mystique, leaving fans and investigators alike hungry for answers. In a recent interview with The Art of Dialogue, Keith D recounted his initial encounter with Diddy back in '91 during the filming of Usher's music video for Can You Get With It. While there was an initial act of goodwill when Diddy reimbursed Keith D for damages to his lowrider used in the video, Keith D now reflects on that encounter with profound regret, claiming it set in motion this involvement in the tumultuous events surrounding Tupac's murder. Keith D has now stepped into the limelight with astonishing revelations. In '98, he boldly asserted that he was in the front seat of the vehicle for which the fatal shots were fired. What adds complex layers to this narrative is Keith D's affiliation with the rival gang, the Southside Compton Crips. The roots of Tupac's shooting delve into the deep-seated conflict between the two notorious gangs based in Compton, California. Shakur and Marion Suge Knight were linked to the mob Piru gang, while Keith D was a member of the Southside Compton Crips. The tragic night began with an altercation at a Mike Tyson boxing match, which eventually escalated into a vengeful assault on Shakur and Knight by members of Death Row Records. According to authorities, Keith D masterminded the plan to retaliate against Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur upon learning of the attack on his nephew. He secured a firearm, rallied a group of cohorts, and tracked down the vehicle using Shakur and Knight. The ensuing drive-by shooting inflicted fatal injuries on Tupac Shakur, leading to his tragic demise 6 days later. Keith D's involvement in this heinous crime became public knowledge through various media outlets, including a gripping '98 interview with BET where he proclaimed his position in the front seat of the vehicle from which the deadly shots were unleashed. In 2009, he made a stunning confession to his role in the shooting during a police investigation. However, the confession was made under a proffer agreement, rendering it of limited use as evidence. Keith D's accusations cut deep as he points the finger at Diddy for playing a role in the demise of Death Row Records, the music empire co-founded by the notorious Suge Knight. According to Keith D, his association with Diddy triggered a series of events that sent both Death Row Records and his own empire tumbling in a single night. While Diddy continued to flourish, Keith D claims that Diddy's maneuvers sowed discord between him and Suge Knight, exploiting their affiliations with rival gangs. In this riveting interview, a web of intricate relationships and deep-seated rivalries emerges. Keith D's narrative suggests that Diddy's manipulations only exuberated tensions between Crips and Bloods, pitting Keith D and Suge Knight, once comrades on the same Pop Warner team, against each other. These dynamics contributed to the escalating animosity that reached its tragic climax on the fateful night in '96. With an air of remorse hanging over him, Keith D insists that he never crossed paths with Diddy. He would have never found himself ensnared in the events surrounding Tupac's murder. He laments the far-reaching consequences of Diddy's actions, underscoring that it was Diddy's behind-the-scenes maneuvering that ultimately led to the downfall of two empires, Death Row Records and his own. For Keith D, the weight of his accusations has only grown heavier over time, and the long elusive hand of justice has finally come knocking. A grand jury indictment has been issued, charging him with murder involving the use of a deadly weapon, some 27 years after that fateful night. It marks a significant turning point in a case that has confounded investigators and fans alike for nearly 3 decades. The arrest Keffe D adds a fresh, compelling chapter to the enduring mystery of Tupac Shakur's murder. As the legal proceedings unfurl, there is a glimmer of hope that this infamous case may finally find resolution, providing closure for the ardent fans and shedding light on the most perplexing mysteries in the annals of music and hip-hop culture. Mike Tyson's take on Diddy's alleged involvement in Tupac's death. Keffe D's revelations introduce another layer to the intricate narrative surrounding Tupac's murder, intensifying the intrigue and finger-pointing. Diddy's alleged role in the events surrounding that fateful night introduces new dimensions to a web of conspiracy theories that have lingered for decades. Despite this emerging evidence, legendary boxer Mike Tyson doesn't agree that Diddy had anything to do with Tupac's murder. In a revealing interview on the PBD podcast, the former heavyweight champion unveiled the long-standing rumors surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and his alleged involvement in Tupac Shakur's tragic death. Tyson, a legend in the boxing world, offered a unique perspective on the controversial music mogul, dispelling suspicions that have loomed for decades. The podcast, hosted by Patrick Bet-David, has perfected a formula that draws in millions of eager listeners. In a captivating episode featuring Tyson, the topic of discussion took an intriguing turn towards Diddy's enigmatic status within the music industry. Bet-David touched upon the fact that Diddy was often perceived as untouchable and a figure to be feared by many in Hollywood. Tyson, known for his distinctive wit, responded with a knowing chuckle and affectionately referred to Diddy as Sugar Diddy. As the conversation unfolded, Bet-David highlighted the public criticisms directed at Diddy by notable figures like 50 Cent and T.I. He probed Tyson for his personal opinion on Diddy and any interactions he might have had with the rap mogul. Tyson disclosed that he had known Diddy for an extended period, well before he ascended to stardom. With a hint of nostalgia, Tyson reminisced, "I knew him before he was Diddy, and for a long time. When I first became champ, I knew him. I remember him. He used to have crates when he's at my after parties and stuff. Also when they were throwing parties." Bet-David delved deeper into the timeline, questioning whether this acquaintance with Diddy was during the early days of Bad Boy Records, the label that catapulted Diddy to fame. Tyson clarified the circumstances, shedding light on his early connection with Diddy. "I was like the first street guy that really got on. I'm the first of all of our generation on that kind of cruise. You know, the street houses that really blew up like that," Tyson explained. Tyson's intimate insights into his relationship with Diddy painted a picture of familiarity and camaraderie, indicating that the music mogul's intimidating reputation in the industry might have been overblown. Furthermore, Tyson's account seemed to debunk long-standing suspicions that Diddy played a role in the perplexing death of Tupac in '96, a time when the East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry was at its peak. Tyson asserted that he knew Diddy as a promoter and record label owner at the time, dispelling any notion of his involvement in the tragic events surrounding Tupac's demise. Well, in the complex tapestry of Tupac's legacy and the ongoing speculation surrounding his murder, Mike Tyson's revelations add a new layer of clarity. As the podcast conversation unfolded, Tyson's perspective served to quell suspicions and enhance our understanding of the multifaceted personalities that shaped the hip-hop industry during that turbulent era. The mystery endures, but Tyson's words offer fresh perspective and a glimmer of insight into the enigmatic world of music and its iconic figures. But then, that still doesn't mean that Diddy didn't have anything to do with Tupac's death. Investigations are still going on, and when they're completed, we'll know for sure who is involved in this heinous evil. What do you think of this issue? Could Diddy really be involved in this crime? In your opinion? Let us know down in the comment section.